Okay, we're on? We're good? Hey guys, this is Bobby Clue with the Somerset-Pulaski County Chamber of Commerce. Back at it again for another one of our virtual ribbon cuttings. Very excited today to be out at Suits Us Farm, Somerset's newest high-end event venue space. I'm here with Tyler Whitaker, the man, the myth, the legend.
Something like that.
Co-owner, I guess you could say.
Co-owner.
Sure. Got, your wife's got to be in there at some point. They own everything, right?
She manages, she keeps everything going straight.
I know the feeling, brother. Tell me, I know. So Tyler, thank you for joining us. And just for a frame of reference, the reason that we started doing these virtual ribbon cuttings, we started doing these a year ago during the pandemic, and they were incredibly popular. We started reaching a whole new audience, people that can't be here for some reason or maybe still don't feel comfortable getting out. This is a way for them to involve them in your special day in this ribbon cutting. So we're doing it virtually, and we're really excited about it. And we're out here at Suits Us Farm. So guys, we're out here on West Highway 80. Yes. Essentially, we're at the intersection of West Highway 80 and Patterson Branch Road. If you get to Fishing Creek Bridge, you've gone too far. Go over the bridge and turn around and come back, and it'll be on your right. Coming towards the bridge, it's on your left. But Suits Us Farm, tell us about, so it's a farm.
Yes.
Tell us how you've converted part of it into a event venue.
Well, as far as that goes, the farm has been in our family for nearly 85 years now. It was originally, we've farmed it most that time span. We've grown tobacco, soybeans, corn here. We still grow corn, as you can see over there in a minute, and we still do a cattle operation on the backside. The farm spans almost back to Southwestern on that side of it, but it's been in the family for 85 years, and about 2 years ago, my wife and myself were getting married. This barn, like I said, used to be a tobacco barn. It was a tobacco barn until 1996. And so it had actually kind of sat dilapidated, and we were actually using it for boat storages at that point, because we have boat storages on the back side. So where this was gravel, dirt. There's actually, where we're staying right now, there was an RV, there's a boat here, so we were using it as boat storage. But when my wife and me decided to get married 2 years ago, we were looking for a place to get married, and we were looking around, and my grandmother always had this vision of turning this into a wedding barn. So we said, okay, well, let's just kind of spruce it up. And you say you kind of spruce it up, you suddenly start doing this, you start doing that to it. We got married, and it's one of those things that's a snowball. We got it into decent enough shape to have our wedding in it. We had our wedding out there under the tree, and then 2 years later, you just keep adding on and adding on and adding on, and it's eventually, the gravel is now gone. It's poured concrete, stained concrete, and it's one of those things that snowballs, and now we're at where we're at today. So.
Well, and that's probably going to be the story of this property now for many years to come too. You'll never be done with it. You're always going to have a project that you're going to want to add to it. But I want to tell you, I've been out here for a couple of different events. It is gorgeous. So hopefully everybody can see what I'm looking at. So the whole barn chic thing has become something in the last decade that has become incredibly popular. You've taken it to a different level, in my opinion. So you've got gorgeous lighting. You've got his and her areas for weddings, for the brides and the groom, for the bride and the grooms and their parties to rest and relax and prepare for the wedding. You've got the on-site house over here for the bride. Yes. I'm hoping that maybe we could just do a quick tour and you could talk. Yeah, could you show us the facility? Because I'm telling you, guys, and you can do more than weddings. Obviously, you can come out here and host events. The city has.
We've had 2 proms out here. We had a Southwestern prom.
Really?
We had I think it was the 8th grade Mies Middle prom a couple months back. We've had, so it's been very versatile.
Sure.
So just besides weddings, but I'll kind of give you a tour.
Let's take a look. So this used to be
this right here.
A barn.
I grew up out here my whole life, and I used to come in here, and it was, I'd kind of play around in here. It used to be, like I said, gravel, boats, and whatnot. So it's kind of crazy to see it in the state, but most of the structure remains the same. All that, the cross beams and everything you see was for hanging tobacco.
Oh yeah.
And I can even still kind of remember the smell of it. But so all this has been fixed up. This is kind of what we consider the main hall. So we've kind of set this up where you can have, and I'll show when we walk out there, you'll be able to see it better, but we've kind of set this up where you're able to have either an inside or outside wedding. So a lot of our brides will sometimes use this as actually the place to hold the wedding. They'll use the stage. In fact, the wedding we had last week, that's what they did. But a lot of brides will also choose to have their wedding outside, and will use this as more so the reception area,
sure.
a reception hall.
Music or something.
Music, yeah. And so the stage up here and everything, that's we've had small concerts here before, but we've had DJs set up there. If a wedding's going to have like a wedding band, we've had that before where they'll use the stage to set up for the band and everything. We keep, it's one of those things, it's an open barn, so there's not necessarily air conditioning. You can't really air condition a barn, but we try our best. We have these built-in fans up here that kind of keep it cool, and we've added this larger unit back here that can be mobile. But yeah, so like I said, a lot of brides, it's kind of 50-50. A lot of it depends on if it's warm out, if it's the summer, or it's the winter. A lot of brides will have it in here, or they'll have it out there.
Sure.
But having it in here, you always, for instance, if they're having a wedding outside and it starts to rain, they always have the backup plan, which is all these can come in here.
Sure.
And so that's kind of this main hall. I can go over here and show you now.
Yeah, so that says the bunkhouse.
The bunkhouse.
So that doesn't sound where the ladies are going to be. That sounds like maybe where the groom and his buddies
Yes.
are going to hang out before the wedding.
Well, as we all know, the wedding, the most important person on the wedding day is the bride.
1, 2, and 3 are the
Yes,
bride.
is the
Absolutely.
bride. But we still want a nice place for the grooms to get ready, so we can kind of come in here. Let me turn this light on. So we just got kind of a little small area to kind of keep a rustic feel, where they can come in, the groomsmen can come in, kind of chill out. We got a mini fridge, we got cable in here. And this is also, as far as this side of it, it is insulated. Now it's open there, so we do have
air conditioning.
Air conditioning in here, so it actually stays fairly cool. So, I'll say this, the brides, they get the nicer treatment,
Sure.
but we still, like I said, we wanted to give them something where they had their own space
Well,
to get
it's so
ready.
well decorated, just like the little touches. I'm sure Megan, your wife, probably has had something like the mason jar lights.
Yeah,
just little
stuff like that.
Details.
Yeah, any decorating, you can attribute that to either Megan or my mother.
Sure.
They have the eye for that.
Very much so.
And so this has been a handy space to have. And like I said, with the air conditioning, it stays pretty cool in here.
Sure.
But we can go around. So
yeah, it's a great space. So how long have you guys been open now?
We got married
To the public.
We got married at the end of 2019, October of 2019, and so the barn wasn't necessary. Like I said, we kind of had a decent enough shape to have our wedding.
Right.
We started weddings. In the summer.
Can you hear us okay, Rakaya? Okay.
We can go on out and talk. I was going to say, we started having weddings in the summer of 2020. We had a lot of weddings planned before COVID happened in the spring, but most of those got canceled, and we really couldn't have many events or anything out here until some of the restrictions got lifted up. And then going into the summer, we started having weddings. So we had quite a few from the
So it opened up basically just in time for COVID to close it down.
Yeah, to close it down, pretty much.
And then you guys are just now kind of getting your feet under you, because I know that you've had a couple of, events for the city out here. You're in full swing for wedding season right now. I'm sure you're booked out indefinitely right now on the weekends. But, it's great to have options in our community, because at some points we've had a lot of options, and then sometimes not very many. I feel like we've been down here, so it's great to have some additional options. I mean, it's very obvious you guys are setting up for a wedding right now.
Well, and then this whole space too, at night, this really lights up. We have our lights strung overhead.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
A lot of brides will actually choose to have this be their dance floor. And like I said, it kind of depends. Like, one of the main things we wanted to keep was customizable for the bride. So if you wanted to have it outside, inside, there's different areas to set up.
So kind of a pergola over there in case if they want to get married outside, there's an option with the tree there. It's beautiful.
So this tree here, it's stood for nearly 70 or 80 years.
Wow.
It's been here for a long time. It's an elm. And so I remember it my whole life. I used to go out and shoot bottle rockets when I was a kid. But it's one of those things. There's still the tobacco harvesters go out. There's still old tobacco knives literally ingrained into that.
Well, and you're right here in the heart of a working farm. So
yes.
if you look out here, I mean, this is a working farm. You can see, you know, you've got acres of corn sitting right here, you know, and like I said, you've got cattle out here. So it's a really neat venue, because a lot of venues are set off by themselves. You've got a working farm built around this property.
And that's another one of the things I think we wanted to try to keep, is that this is still a family farm.
Sure.
It's still a functioning farm. We still do corn. Now we're actually now keeping it in corn, not year round, but we're not alternating. Usually you'd alternate between corn or something like soybeans. We're keeping it in corn because mainly corn looks pretty no matter what. It's pretty when it's green. It's pretty when it's dry. So it's a good backdrop. I'd say right now with that, girls, the groom and the brides love to have photos taken.
I bet.
Against that backdrop.
Do you have any stipulations? You know, a lot of venues, they have stipulations on, we have to use this caterer or this photographer. Can anybody bring anybody they want for that? Once you rent the space, they can bring whoever they want?
Yeah, we have some people we recommend, but we really just leave it open to whoever they want for their wedding. We don't really, mandate anything like that necessarily.
So if they've got questions, you can help them find vendors.
Yes.
But they are welcome to bring whoever they want.
Yeah, we've kind of over the last year or so, we've kind of collected a kind of a network of some people to recommend. But at the end of the day, we just kind of recommend them, and they're free to choose whoever they may. But so actually, I guess since we're up here, we can go ahead. This is the bridal suite. So this is the whole area the brides
they've made out well, haven't they?
They've made out well.
Guys, sorry, the ladies are winning the day here.
Well, it's a wedding, so we know how that goes. But this is the bridal suite. This is the front deck. It's a beautiful view right now with the corn. That's what I'm saying. If I was going to get married out here again, I would try to get married in July or August when this corn. But a fall wedding's still beautiful when that's starting to kind of turn yellow. But we can come on and go in here.
Come on, guys. Let's go in and check out the bridal suite here. This is absolutely beautiful. Whole different smell. Whole different smell in here. It doesn't smell like a tobacco barn. This smells like a cabin in Gatlinburg is exactly what it smells like. And it's absolutely beautiful.
Well, so unlike anywhere necessarily in the barn besides the kitchen, all of this is air conditioning. You have both heating and air in it, so it stays cool or warm year-round. It has its own Wi-Fi network separate from actually the barn, so strong Wi-Fi connection, has cable and everything, mini fridge, anything like that. So this is kind of the main lounge area. Now behind this, in this opening right here, is really the main one. I think the main attraction for a lot of the brides, because on the wedding day, one of the main things is you're trying to get ready. You want a good space. You want a comfortable space. To get your makeup done, to get your hair done, or just to get dressed. So we've tried to make this as accommodating and open as possible for to fit as many bridesmaids or the bride herself in here as possible. So one thing I've learned, because I've done a lot of wedding videography myself, one thing I've learned is mirrors.
Sure.
Full length. Yes, you can't on wedding day when a bride's getting ready and her bridesmaids are getting ready. You can't go wrong with mirrors.
Sure. And makeup is a big component to the wedding day. Professionals will come in a lot of times and they'll do the makeup for the entire group. You've got the seating, you've got the mirrors, you've got the bright LED lights, you've got all the things that the ladies would enjoy. And this is a spectacular component that a lot of other event venues may not have. This is a real tactical advantage, I think.
Well, this is one, like I was saying, this is one of the main things we wanted to try to get finished before this upcoming year.
There's a steamer over there, for goodness sakes. Well, what a brilliant decision that is.
Usually they can hang their dress there or actually on the side here. Then we have, you might not be able to see it, but you have a bathroom here. So everything in here should be fully furnished. So
everything they would need to have a stress-free, comfortable lead up to the wedding.
Yes, and that's as far as an event venue, that's our main goal, is to make it as comfortable and relaxing as possible for the bride, because they have enough stuff to worry about during the day. The last thing they need to worry about is having a comfortable space to get ready.
So let me ask you something. How how does pricing work for this? Is this an affordable option for people?
Yeah, I would say, with kind of going back to what I said a minute ago, I've been doing wedding videography for nearly 7 years now. So I've been all over the north, the south, both up in Ohio, Nashville, all over. I've done weddings all over. And when you're filming weddings, you kind of start understanding what these places are charging. So one of our main goals was to make this a very cost affordable place where anyone can come have a beautiful wedding. Mm-hmm. And so I would say we're probably the most affordable venue you will find in probably the region.
Wow. Well, you don't have to be, because I'll tell you, this is gorgeous, but it's great to know, because a lot of people are probably watching this going, but can I afford this? And it sounds like you can. I would assume that the best way to get information about booking an event. So how do we get a hold of you? Do you Instagram, Facebook?
Yes.
How do we find you?
Right now, since we're still in kind of the infancy of everything. Right now, the best way to get a hold of us is actually on our Facebook page. It Suits Us Farm. You can find that on our page, Suits Us Farm. And the best way would just be send a direct message. Our phone number is also on there.
What's that number?
Oh, you would ask.
It's on the Facebook.
It's on
page.
the Facebook.
Gotcha.
Listen, I'm a millennial, so numbers don't. I don't memorize numbers.
That's
what I got my phone for.
They're on the Facebook page. Absolutely.
But one of the things we are trying to work to get is a website done, which will be another contact avenue. But we're still trying to get some things put together for that.
And what about if you just want the space for a small amount of time? So you talked about a prom, or maybe somebody wants to have an event that's just a couple hours. Can you rent it for small amounts of time as well?
Yes, we've rented it for everything from like a birthday party to even up to
a birthday party. That's a great one.
We've rented out, and as far as our pricing goes, you'd have to contact us on that. But as far as our pricing goes on that, we charge a different price. It's a cheaper price for having like a day event or something.
Okay.
And then before I forget, going back to like the actual booking of the venue, one of the main things we offer is if you book, let's say a bride books for a most weddings happen on a Saturday. Let's say they book for a Saturday. We allow the brides to come in and their family to come in, usually on Wednesday night. We allow them Wednesday to Sunday morning, pretty much. So we allow them nearly 3 days to set up, and then all we require is that next morning on Sunday is just to have everything cleaned up by noon.
Sure. Probably a big, probably another, that's probably unique to an event venue, letting the wedding planner or the bride and her friends and the family come in several days before the wedding to go ahead and get a leg up and get started on decorating the event venue. So that's again, those are the kind of things I think people look at when they're looking to book a venue. You make it as easy as possible. You try to say yes and accommodate all the small things because they add up after a while.
We've not necessarily done any marketing, but we found leave them with a good experience, and it speaks for itself.
Sure.
One other thing before we wrap up, because this is actually, doesn't sound like it, but this is actually, a lot of people are like, oh wow, I didn't know you did that. We actually own nearly 500 chairs, white chairs, and I believe it's 30 round tables that can seat 8 people, and then 20 tables each. So we actually provide all the chairs and furnishing as well, which most venues do not provide that, and it requires the wedding party to actually rent the tables and chairs from another venue.
Is that an additional cost to rent those?
You're kidding me.
At that
moment.
It's just part of the package. Really.
Part of it. We have it divided up between 250 chairs that can go for outside that sit on a trailer with a gator attached to it, so you can drive out here, set them up, and we have another 250 that are kind of designated for inside, along with all the tables. But at the moment right now, like I said, we're just trying to get our name out there, be as affordable and accommodating as possible.
Wow,
so that's free of charge right now.
I'm glad you didn't forget about that, because that is, that's a big thing. I mean, renting chairs and tables,
it can get expensive.
Sure can, and you're providing that as part of that wedding package and part of that experience, Tyler. That's incredible. So yeah, well, let's walk back across here, and we'll wrap up. I know that we've got, again, the venue, and you're setting up for a wedding. But again, if you're just tuning in, We are at Suits Us Farm. I'm here with Tyler Whitaker, and essentially we're located out on West Highway 80 in the intersection of Patterson Branch Road. Working farm, also a beautiful event venue. And Tyler, thank you for taking some time to spend with us. We appreciate. First of all, I greatly appreciate you being a chamber member. You don't have to be, and the fact that you are means a lot. I appreciate that. And second of all, thanks for taking the time to step out of our comfort zones a little bit and talk about this venue. We want to educate our community and our members on what is here. I think people are driving by and some people may not know what's here. So it's our job to help provide that awareness. You talk about marketing. We're the most affordable marketing game in town, people. We are here to really educate people about Suits Us Farm, and now hopefully they know a little bit more. So thank you.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you, Bobby.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, what we are going to do now is we're going to go over here and we're going to do an in-person ribbon cutting. We have got a ton of people here. We're going to go do this in-person ribbon cutting, and stay tuned for more of our virtual ribbon cuttings. We've got another one scheduled next week, but until then, thank you all for tuning in. Go check them out on Facebook, Suits Us Farm, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you.